Attention gamers, you're listening to the ScuffCast. I am
Gunschilli.
I approve this message.
Gamers, good day to you all. It is the...
Wait, stop.
I guess the...
I was recording game sounds.
Oh, you...
cutting words.
I've lost my momentum.
Is that a blooper? That's a blooper,
I'm
Eric.
sorry. Alright, okay. 3, 2,
Hi.
1, go.
Good day, gamers, and welcome to this very special podcast, if you want to call it that. I don't even know. It's...
Hiya.
Shut up.
Sorry.
Can we start again?
Get it on and over with. One take.
One take. Okay. We're calling
Inconsistencies
this...
are fine. Just
We're calling this the ScuffCast, even though we're disregarding currently the other like 55 members of the Scuff Unit. But yeah, we're just a bunch of losers that made a group ironman team. We've all played a fair bit of Runescape, and yeah, we just want to come together and talk about absolute waffle for an hour. Probably, well, we say once a week. We say once a week, but
It's taken us 3 weeks to get to this point.
Yeah, we'll launch this one, and then I guarantee the next one be in like 46 days, something really off. But I'm Toucann.
hi,
Hi.
Toucann.
I play RuneScape sometimes. I'm kind of burnt at the moment. This is like the first time I've actually logged in a while. I used to stream. I make terrible YouTube videos. And I am very short and awkward.
Even
as
this
you probably
video
tell.
you're listening to right now is one of those terrible YouTube videos.
Exactly. And the fact you're here is incredible. To my right, even though he's physically not here, I'm just imagining, is my good friend Tom, aka Chili, Gunschilli, whatever fucking name you are.
Hi everyone, welcome to our podcast. I'm excited to get this going, and yeah, I like to roidy.
To my left is a wall, but it's actually Grannt.
Hiya.
Yeah, I'm Grannt. Just fucking love RuneScape, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Grant is also Lorraine Kelly, for anyone that didn't know. You are,
She's just my spirit animal.
That's basically her.
Mm.
And then,
The general.
the general standing over me, like my boss checking on me at work, is Dan Wedges, the collector of sippies.
I think we'll have to explain that at a later point, but yeah. Hi, I'm Dan, better known as Wedges, more also known for taking every single coin in Tom's bank in his IDFAP series.
That's the man.
That's me. Nice to meet you.
Who wants a burger?
You can't do him like that straight away, mate.
Thanks for that introduction, Toucann. I appreciate it.
No, you're welcome, mate.
Bosh.
So yeah, as you can tell by each of our dynamics, we're all idiots, but that's why we did well in the group iron team.
Yeah, what we
I
didn't
guess-
do well, mate. What do you mean? Dan got punched by a
Well,
monkey.
I-
A monkey madness won.
Well, I did
Grant
well
died
because
to a
I
box.
didn't die.
That's true. All right, we'll give
You
it.
were the MVP of the team. Tom had enough of us by the end of it and just
Tom,
Oh,
suicided.
I
you
didn't
literally
out.
suicide.
sent it
On goal,
out
I
the window.
DC'd, and then the Zora mishap was just unfortunate.
For real, 100.
I don't remember which way around it was, but you DC'd or did something stupid, and you were like, "Oh, I'm going to do something else that's stupid."
Thank you. Right. We sort of talked about like we're near the end of it, towards like the point where like Tom died. He DCs and dies, right? And he thinks, do you know what I'll do? I'll go to Zora. That'll be fine.
I was.
I
We
won't
were
lose
over
the last
prepared
fight.
for some PVM content that we just
I
didn't
know,
do.
but like, if you've just died to a DC,
I was
say clear.
I was making us brews. I even recorded myself like, "Hi guys, I'm 78 herbal now. I'm really excited to make brews for the guys." And then
Look, I wanted to release a video with some POG 10 and I fucked it. Okay.
So that's so you tell us this.
I was using you all for
6
content,
months
yeah.
later. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, no worries.
I made
guys.
it in episode 1. I'll take it.
What do you guys think about group Iron Man in general and group hardcore? Like, the farmers have died and they're like notably the biggest team. A lot of people flame it, but I feel like it's just such a personal enjoyment thing. Like, when people were flaming it to me, like, oh, it's not even popular content, you should do something else. My mindset was always like, I just kind of don't care, because within the moment, it's so much fun to do it with your friends.
Yeah,
that's what made it fun for me. At
I
least.
mean, the way I saw it is just you're playing an Iron Man, like as you would solo, but you've just got your mates there and you can interact with each other through a storage or what have you, and it forces you to play the game together, which is always fun. Like doing.
I definitely think it's a really good introduction to the game. To be
Yeah,
honest.
To be fair, I think how it came out was kind of.
Oh, it was an awful lot.
Yeah, because obviously it got released at RuneFest. Was it 2019? Everyone was super excited.
I think it was 18.
Yeah, I think it was like 18. But everyone was super excited. And really
it kind of burned out a bit, didn't it? Like, there was this sort of hype around it, and then I think everybody who was going to make
died, and
everyone who was going to make a group was like everyone who was going to make a group Iron Man then went on to make an Iron Man, got accomplished in that, and then group came out and they were like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I think everyone kind of found enjoyment in playing like the solo game. Like there was a point where hardcores stopped being like, I'm going to get 99 defense and wear a defense cape for the rest of my life, to people just sending corrupted gauntlets to get the new
game
just
progressed so fast. It like outpaced the idea of group Iron being like...
Yeah, and then when it actually came out, people were like, oh my god, let's go. And then the amount of teams that burned out on day one. It's like,
I mean, I blinked, and Trackies from Scuff Unit, shout out Trackies. He had full crystal, were both Dragon Warhammer, and was coming top with us. Like, that's how quick it is nowadays.
It is so quick now, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
He did put in a shift, not taking it away from him.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
But, hey.
Tesco shift. Sorry.
Shout out Tesco shift.
Shut
yeah, it's just mad how quick some of like the early to mid game can be, especially in group.
Yeah, I think...
For me, the reason why I think a reason why it failed and a lot of the player base that were playing group dropped off was leagues. Like,
shout out leagues,
because they literally released Group Iron and they were like, let's go guys, Group Iron, and a week later it's like, ooh, leagues now.
Yeah, leagues is coming in, by the way. You're like, ooh,
slow down.
Yeah.
Fucking
hot take, I can't stand leagues.
Yeah,
you found some enjoyment in it, Toucann, right?
Yeah, because whenever I do it, I just try and be as stupid as possible.
Yeah.
I played. What was the one before this one?
Trailblazer.
Trailblazer
was the best.
The only one I've played.
Days of Trailblazer, then got bored, and then to be honest, I forgot the details, so I couldn't have even played it on, so I didn't even have access to the reports.
It's a cool concept, but you gotta be the right person for it. I think.
I can already hear some like Reddit Andy who's got 1,300. But what if we make leagues permanent? But no, don't do that.
I feel like the
Runescape playing another one.
I do miss it. Like, I think if Group Iron Man if literally Iron Man came out with Group Iron, like I feel like, well, maybe not. I feel like by this point now, because obviously Iron Man is now 8 years old, it'd be dead. But maybe somewhere between when it did release and like when Iron Man came out.
Until Group Iron Man, I had like a baby hardcore that I forgot the account details to. I've never really played it, and I've always respected those that play it. It does seem quite enjoyable when you get to the end game, but I don't know.
It's just the thought of putting in thousands of hours and then server goes to sleep for a tick, and
I'd still enjoy the regular Iron, and I think if I like a few years ago decided to bite the bullet and make an Iron, I would have been playing that over a main.
Yeah.
But it's got to the point where I value the time that I have, and I don't want to like you boys know better than anyone. I did not do farm runs.
I didn't know how to make compost, mate.
You didn't do a singular clue scroll.
I was so bad. Like, I was fucking tragic.
But that's why it was fun, in my opinion. Like, we all had something different to offer. Like, Wedges would like grind early Slayer and not give a shit and do it for 12 hours a day. And it just like, it all worked pretty cohesively. It's like we knew that it would all work together with us. And it was so special for us. And it's kind of funny how like, it's like group iron feels like such a private thing to do with like the boys, and I feel like that's how it's enjoyed. Like no one really wants to soak it up as much, but
I get
so
you.
Fun.
I think the best part of it is
kind of why we're here now doing this, because
that's what I was going to say. I think the best part of it
we didn't want to, like, obviously we still talk every day, we still use that Discord and chat to each other, but we wanted to make more out of it because I feel like we're such a dynamic group, like Tom says.
I was going to ask,
reach different.
Do you miss playing group iron?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
I've
been excited that we're doing this again. And back on the internet.
I have like a second channel on YouTube that I use for like other games, and one of my own videos popped up, and it was me playing on Midget Rat, the GIM, and I was just watching it and was like, man.
Was that the 12
that was a fun time. Yeah.
Toucann, can I clear off your GIM now? Like, we've not logged on to it in a while. There's some coin on there that I could use.
As long as you don't hurt fucking what's his name, the farming pet, Omar, or whatever he was called.
All right.
Can I get a split then?
Only farming pet I've ever had.
Man, can I get a split?
Yeah, we'll split it 3 ways.
I can do what you want.
I'm surprised you said to be honest with you.
We'll put it on the account. We'll do that
fucking can't.
We'll do that after the recording, but back to you, Toucann. Thank you.
Back to you, the studio, Toucann.
Well,
what's the weather like out there? It's raining.
It's fucking hot, bruv. I'll tell you that. I am sweating.
Have you boys got fans?
No.
Well, let me tell you, I've got 92,000
subscribers. Saw it coming.
I have a window and a snake plant. I don't know why the snake plant is relevant, but there you go.
I bet your ball sack stinks.
Why do you?
Yeah, Tom's gonna find out in 4 hours.
I live up in I live up in Jokistan, so it's nice and cool up here. We're all right.
Right. Shall we go to the lovely? They're not even viewers. The lovely listeners that are actually they're not actually here. They probably won't even watch this, but we did tweet prior to this, like a week before, just asking for some questions and some topic ideas.
Can I do a little intro for it?
A little intro?
Yeah, like
for what?
Yeah.
For the podcast.
The time to read questions from people.
Congratulations.
This one I really like. You probably know who it is when I say what it is, but he broke it down into a question for each one of us. A fellow member of the Scuff Unit, Mr. Yoda's Yoda.
Wow.
He asked us each a question. He put mine first, so I guess I'll just go first. He said, at Toucann, how many accounts do you have with over 50 hours played on it, and why? PK builds, weird trophy accounts. And why? Question mark. PK builds, weird trophy accounts. What goals and purpose do they have? So
no purpose.
Yeah. So anyone that knows me knows that when it comes to games, not just RuneScape, just any game, I like playing it in the most stupid way possible, just because I think it's fun. And the reason why I have so many different accounts is because they're all different builds, they're all different like trophy accounts. I had an Ultimate Ironman with 10 HP and 99 strength, which I invested about 1,300 hours into, just for the purpose of going PKing in Bounty Hunter. But 2 months after I got the strength level, they just straight up removed Bounty Hunter. So that was a disaster, and that was that account out the window.
You just gave up on it.
Yeah, I literally de-altered it. It's still an iron, just a regular iron, but it's de-altered, and I regret it. But I literally wiped the account of its GP. But no, the main reason is I just really like early game. because every time it comes to a new account, especially on an Ironman, because I've done it so many times, you kind of like, as you go through, you're like, oh, I could do this while doing that sort of thing. I enjoy tying things together and shaving time off. I just find that really enjoyable. And when it came to GIM, because I had a lot of that background, I was really excited to do it. Yeah, I just like making
how cohesive you've done all of the quests in orders like really efficiently and everything. Like you can read steps off a guide, but like you was like, I need this for this, and coordinated us giving you stuff to do them.
Yeah, the difference is with these builds and stuff, and the weird trophy accounts that I have, is I never used any sort of guide. Like I would sometimes put in like, you know, can a Zerka do this quest or something, but I never did like one of those step-by-step guides that like Osiris has for hardcore, just because I think it's so much more fun to sort of
forge your own
settled. Yep, thank you.
Why did I have that in my head?
Forge your own path. Yeah, forge your own journey. Like, I just find that so much more fun. So that's why I have those accounts, and yeah, like you say, Yoda, it's mainly PK builds. I haven't PK'd in sometimes just because it's kind of died, and yeah, but back in the day, I would make all sorts of I would make all sorts of builds. I had pures, I had a Zerka, I had a med level. That account got recovered. I can't actually log into that account now, so that's nice.
I mean, you've got 20 others, so you're fine.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I actually have a notepad here, and whilst making this lovely cup of tea I wrote down every account that I can remember. Like what it is. It came out to a total of 19.
Holy shit!
I have
20. I won't borrow.
And out of those, and then because I only just realized Yoda said how many of those have over 50 hours. I sort of crossed them out and got 10. So I have over 10 accounts with 50 hours played or invested.
Nice.
I have 2.
Pretty much half, if not all, are Ironman. Some sort of weird UIM.
I feel like pure shit just missed 91 Candad.
Because I just like weird trophy accounts with no purpose. Walk around the GE with like, I don't know, a level
Pumper
3.
was cool though. Like,
yeah,
that was genuinely okay. That was the UAM with the 99.
Yeah, Pumper, the UIM 99 strafe, like that. You know, that was cool to have. Yeah, so I did that all at Blast Furnace. It was 12k an hour.
12k an hour.
Yeah.
It always reminds me of when I see those guys at the Edgeville Monastery. You always see them like the defense.
Yeah.
Like
that account had potential, but like I say, they just straight up removed Bounty Hunter, and I lost motivation.
It's always there. Though.
Yeah. So Yoda asks, Mr. Wedges, what's the decision behind committing to so long grinds at bosses? Is GP the motivation, or do you pick the bosses that you like?
It depends on the boss, I guess. So,
let's say Sippies and move on.
Are you just going to flex and say, so sire?
Well, I was going to get onto it, but right. So I went incredibly dry at sire. I got really unlucky and had to go for just under 13k kills to get the pet.
You were like, what, rank 3 overall?
Yeah, still am. No one's going to pass me. It's awful. Don't recommend doing sire for that long. The reason why I wanted to get the pet, and it was when the log come out, I got intrigued by that, and I think a lot of the community base at the moment is on that.
The collection log is, if not one of the best updates. Right?
So at the moment, I'm trying to green as many boss logs, and I focus on the front pages to begin with. So I'm at the moment out off the front page of the boss logs. It's Callisto, Zilly, Corp, Fight Caves because I'm dry there, and Gauntlet that I've got yet to green. So I like the number going up on the high scores. That's another reason why I play the way I do. So I'm working on 200 mil Slayer at the moment, and I'm just doing pets through Slayer. I like bossing as much as I can. I think that's
you're the kind of player who can just sit down and do something for hours on end.
Yeah, as long as it's not stressful. Like I'll do the odd TOB, I'll do the odd CMs, the odd next trip here and there. But yeah, for Slayer bosses, because of how piss easy they are, I can just sit and do it for like.
I mean, they're all very different.
You're not relying on anyone else but yourself as well.
No, that's it. Like I can just like focus on myself. I'm not a hindrance to anyone, and I can just do it on my own. Well. There's that. So it's not more.
You're like such a efficient yet not efficient player, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
But it took me 11k kills at side to do the Lumberage Elite and get the Drayman stuff out of my bank.
Yeah, and there was the GIM with the Ardy Cloak 1.
Your efficiency is like, if you assign Wedge as a task, he'll get it done at no matter cost. That's the thing. But but he won't take a Drayman stuff. I mean, but he'll have to take a Drayman stuff through a fairy ring to do it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anymore. I've got rid of it. It's gone. But the reason why I did like Messiah, for example, I wanted to like get the boss done so that I could then do Abyssal Demons as a Slayer task rather than having the worry of, I should be doing Sire.
Yeah.
Things like that. The other reason is money. So like I got a bit greedy at Hydra and went to 10k. Another example at the moment that I'm stuck on that Yoda pointed out the other day in the CC to me was Vorkath.
Yeah.
There's just certain RNG grinds like as part of the boss log that are like
you just love
my
money.
Mental health.
Do you want to talk about your obsession with money and how you pick up fucking air runes at Nex?
Right.
Blame him.
Okay, so if you saw 5 piles of air rune stacks that are valued at 60k, would you leave them on the floor?
Like collectively, or each part is 60k?
For a shark, yes.
For a shark, yeah, 100%.
So
no, I wouldn't.
Me and Tom are saying we'd leave them for a shark.
I wouldn't.
None of you would pick it
up.
It's
not 60k either, mate. Like, there's not going to be 60k worth of air runes on the floor at Next, surely.
That's like 10k air runes.
It's going to be like 7k.
And that's like spread out across 100 piles, and Dan's just walking.
Dan's there while it's like, fill my lungs with smoke. Dan's like, I'm going for a walk. Off he goes, and he goes and picks up all the air orbs.
No heal shards.
This is exactly the problem. No one listens to what actually happens, and this is why this meme is still going round. So, for example, I like Rob at the moment. Shout out Rob with 5 Bs in Scuff Unit. He hates me.
Right.
He cannot get around his head like why I pick up, for example, Adamant Arrow poisons at Zami.
Well, I do that. Because they've got a bit more value to them.
Some people do, but that's an example of an item that I pick up because over the course of 5k kills and probably about triple that for the pet, which I'll have to go for. That's one of my grinds at the minute that I'm playing in game.
Yeah.
I'm going to get probably a couple of million Addy Arrows poison.
Yeah, it all adds up. And it does look nice in the loot tab.
Yeah, and as you boys know, I won't say how much my loot tab is. Soon we'll see how much it's worth. I've got a big loot tab going on at the minute, and I like adding to it. So I pick up stuff of value at bosses over time.
That's fair. You're staying in your lane. You're enjoying yourself. You know.
You're consistent.
Yeah. Thanks, mate.
I admire it. It is like Dan. I actually think that you like from a gameplay stance. Watching you content create would be so interesting because you collect and you pick up everything and you grind things for so long. You would actually have like sick monthly update videos.
Yeah.
Do videos. I can barely turn my laptop on.
We can tell by this audio quality.
I had to bring my laptop to you so that you could teach me how to do recording. And even then, it was in portrait mode and looked awful. And I got rinsed for it on your videos.
It was.
But yeah, I can do videos. It wouldn't work. I enjoy doing things like this, just talking to you boys, but I'm not interested in doing videos.
I get what Tom's saying though. There's something satisfying about the collection aspect, and that's why he's doing so well at the moment.
Yeah.
Pretty much every content creator is doing it. Well, not all of them, but it's very big on YouTube at the moment.
I think what we should do as well. I mean, it might be different for you, Tom, because obviously videos and that. I might sort of say, "Oh, this week I got this." Share with our loyal viewers.
Why'd you do it like that? this week.
Look at what I got.
Guys, check this out.
Wow. Taro's poisoned.
For some reason, I just got what was that program back when we were kids? Art Attack. That was it. And here's one I made earlier.
Here's a link that I made earlier. 4-bit.
Right. Grant.
Yeah.
Yoda didn't get a question for you.
No, I know he didn't.
Hit the meltdown.
I pretend I'm Yoda and I'm asking you a question.
Hello.
Hi, it is I, Yoda. No,
Sorry.
How did you find Scuff Unit and get in and get to be where you are now?
The champion. I'm joking. I got in because I was going for Max, and I knew my friend Grant, that was known as Mahogany, on Twitch. He obviously is in the clan, and he got in contact with Paddy because I wanted to learn how to VM, and at that time Paddy was on his like VM thing. Remember when he was tweeting every day like today's a bad day to be the Rock in VM. Like he just sat in the VM all week, and he got me in touch with Paddy, who then taught me how to do VM, and then I maxed, and then you ruined my max party.
Yep. Yeah, I did do that.
I wasn't in the Discord yet, and then I think about a month later I got an invite, and
who was it invited you? Was it Paddy?
Paddy sent me the link, yeah. And now I'm here.
Now you're here, and now you're such a big part of it.
I heard Scuff Unit's taking Discord applications in Paddy's Twitter DMs.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You've also got to get 95k an hour at VM though. If you get any less than that,
you have to attach a screenshot to your DM.
But yeah, I can't believe you did that to my party though, man.
Mate.
You didn't know me. That's just me.
Yeah, this is another side of me.
Did you lob plus?
No.
Oh.
This is another side to me when it comes to games. I'm just a massive prick to everyone.
Okay. Basically how it went down, right, is I was planning to max and I was going to stream it. I never streamed at that point. It was one of my first streams I ever did. And at that point I got like 40 viewers, which for me was fucking nuts. I was actually nervous.
I mean, that's good for anyone.
And anyone, I was still kind of friendly with Scuff. I wasn't in the Discord yet, but I knew a few people, and so I invited everyone to come, and you guys did come.
Yeah.
And then I was in
you can
Barrack
always
Square.
rely on me to come, mate. Don't worry.
Do not come.
Do
not come.
And so I was about to max, and I was in like this typical countdown, and then Toucann just got everyone to spam early.
No, because we were in the Discord at this point. We were in a voice call, and I was probably likely drunk because I'm a little alcoholic. And I was like, guys, it'd be really funny if we all pretended that Grant actually maxed when he didn't. So we got like everyone's messages ready, and then obviously Grant hadn't maxed, and he sees all the text come above his head, and he's like fumbling on his keyboard, like. And then he maxes like, I did it, and then all the text is going up, and then all the text turns to question marks.
It was like, did he max it? And I'm like, yeah, man.
I've done it. Thank you for coming.
It was so sad, but it was
that was my first interaction with Grant.
He's still mates with you. I'd have fucking cut you off.
It was funny.
Yeah.
Held vendettas and all sorts.
I swear my first interaction is so stupid with everyone that's in Scuff. My first interaction with Nick Addies was because I hated him because he was at the pond. I was fishing at the pond because I was maxing,
and that most of Twitter's first interaction with him.
Shut up.
Tom, that's cringe.
Wow.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's cringe, mate.
You're banned from the clan.
Shout out, Addies.
So he was at the pond. He was all acting like, "Oh, this is my world. Go away." And it really rattled me to the point where I actually hopped worlds, and then he hopped to. And then I remember tweeting him, and be like, "Grr."
You growled at him.
And now we're like best mates. So it's interesting how it changed.
Yeah. I remember I went to your 99 HP party in your UAM, and by that it was just me, you, and Paddy, and you got terror birds.
Ooh, yeah.
And it was the first day I was in the Discord, and I had no clue who you were, and I was like, "This is the cunt that ruined fucking Max party."
Okay. Last but not least, this is very good questions, Yoda. Thank you.
Yeah, shout out Yoda.
Humble man. Your question, Tom, is a good one. I'd love to hear your stories / rambling about the original In Debt for a Pet. Where did the idea come from? The worst state to lose and rebuild from? The best? The pets you always wanted? Or anything?
So
Regarding
I
iPhone.
conceptualized In Debt for a Pet whilst I wasn't even content creating. I wasn't even streaming or making videos.
I mean, you've been a content creator for like
since 2015.
Years. Yeah.
Yeah. This was like 2013, 14. I was watching there wasn't a lot of people to watch. It was like Boaty, AOH, Skidler was new. I mean, Curtis, I don't even think Curtis had started yet. Foe, yeah.
The OG like stream a lot was like Foe.
That's
Alicia,
just the people that
Boaty.
like still stream now. So like I can only think of a handful. And I wrote it down on a piece of paper at work while I was watching Skidler, because Skidler was discussing Iron Man at the time, like because Iron Man wasn't an official thing either. So he was like, I wonder what like other game modes people could have. And pet, like there was one pet, but they had announced that they wanted to do more. I think it was like the
what was the only pet?
It was Chaos Ellie,
Oh,
I think, and then they had the sperm. They like Zora was announced. So this was like 2014, maybe early 2015.
I think Zora came out early 2015.
Yeah, it was announced. I think it was February time. It was announced, and they had like a little sperm pet for it.
Yeah, the old snakelings.
It was so bad.
And because I was a degen back then, I would stake and I would rebuild at Zora.
Right.
So like my thoughts were like, oh, what if every time I get the pet, I'm allowed to stake then? And then it just kind of like grew from that. And then I started streaming in March of 2015. And
when did your first episode come out then?
Oh, like way later. I streamed and I got hooked on streaming, and I put the idea away. I didn't think about it for a while.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
That intro is golden.
You are now watching.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Speaking of golden,
chair going like.
Speaking of golden intros, though, where did you come up with the original intro?
Oh, I commissioned a guy called Tripwire to make it, because I didn't know how to edit back then. Like I just put clips together, and I got someone else to make the intro for me.
Yeah.
And I just asked him, and he was like, "Oh, what music do you want?" And back then I just didn't care. I was like, "Oh yeah, whatever." And he just chose it for me.
Yeah.
It's
such a good.
That became such a massive part of the series.
And then like I only got into editing like maybe like 10 episodes in, because Mr. Mammal was dry on Primordials. Could Serb had just come out? So this is like 16, 17 time. And I got them on like 5KC or something. So I kind of wanted to like meme on him. So I did like this like edit of zooming in and out on the boots. And it kind of blew up for like, you know, back then blew up. Like 20k views back then is a lot. So that's like how it all kind of like came to be like an official thing that I wanted to work hard on.
You also got pretty. I remember being around. I'd like just come back to the game, so this was like late 2015, early 2016. And back then on Twitch, there was no such thing as affiliate. There was only partner.
Yeah.
And you were very due at being a partner. And I remember it was like a massive thing, like you trying to get partner. And then when it actually happened, like Twitter blew up. And I remember being in sixth form at school, and like congratulating you on Twitter.
It's crazy, isn't it? Like, Twitch is so different back then. Like, people think it's easier now, and in some way it's not, but in some ways it is. Like that year where I was pushing for partner was probably my best financial year on Twitch, which is mad considering like all of the tools and all of the ways to support content creators now, and the volume of audience is so much bigger. But
I mean, the only way back then was just subs.
People were so supportive of me trying to get partner.
Right? Yeah, there was no bits or anything. No, bits came later.
No, it was just all PayPal donations back then.
Yeah,
that's
crazy.
That's cool though.
Yeah, you've had a cool journey.
I remember
there's a lot of your. Sorry, you go.
No, I remember one of the first videos I ever watched of you was when you did the Shooting Stars Primordial boot edit.
Oh yes.
And I remember watching that and going, "This guy's fucking sick!" Like,
18-year-old Grannt is like. Was a lot of your editing self-taught?
All of it, yeah. I mean,
that's gaming.
This year.
I mean, you take a lot of inspiration.
Yeah, from like music videos.
Very. I've noticed all your, if not, well, the majority of your inspiration is very underground.
Why in my head have I got an image of Tom attending like a night school for editing YouTube videos?
He's.
I mean, these days I borrow and ask a lot more of people, like because of Blender. Like Blender's way out of my it's difficult to use. It's big brain stuff.
It's now become such like a norm.
So
that's become like
to kind of like find an edge in Blender. I do look out elsewhere and follow a lot of tutorials, which I never really did. It was mostly just like, well, I'm gonna try and fiddle with these settings until it looks nice.
So they do look fantastic, mate.
They do look very good. Well done.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Next question.
All right. Jeez. Okay, I've got one here. I like this question. This one is from Hobbit OSRS. He asks, "What's been the most fun / least fun experiences you've had on RuneScape in general since you began playing?" And this goes out to all of us.
Is this old school or just in general?
I guess. Well, just since we've been started playing.
I say that because I've been playing this game for too long.
Well, he just said in general since you began playing, and he said RuneScape, so I assume it's just like the whole span. Ooh. Do you know what? Actually, go on.
All right. Maxing.
Yeah.
Hated it. The only reason I maxed is because I did my first raid, which was Chambers. A mate of mine at the time took the mick out of my farming level being 78. So I took personal offense to that and went and maxed.
You crossed your arms and you were like...
Pretty much. I think it was my mate Sam. I think Billy might have been in it as well. And I think it was because we were farming the herbs at the farming patch, and I kept like clearing the patch because of my farming level.
Yeah.
And I was getting abuse for my farming level, so I was like, right, fine. It is what it is. I'll go max.
Right, I've had enough.
So I didn't enjoy maxing. The majority of the time that I played an alt account to make money because you know me, I love money. Oh, money. So I didn't enjoy it at all. I hated max. If I was to max nowadays, it like with all the new methods, all
it's
the
so different
mini
now.
games. Yeah, I reckon I'd have a different opinion.
What year did you max?
Hang on, it's on my Twitter account. Let me just
2009.
get it up. My pin tweet. I maxed
you were born.
on the 9th of November 2019.
Oh wow, you're quite late then.
2019. All right, play more.
I mean, I was worse. I maxed the 6th of June 2020.
Mine was the 1st of November 2017.
No, I'm about the same time as you then too, kind of thing.
Yeah, you were like a week. I was like a week after you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second horrible thing that I had was, as I alluded to earlier, going that dry on a pet. Fire took it out of me. Even though it's not my most killed boss, I hate every unfired I got, everyone would be like, oh, and it was just being ha, lol, next time. And it was just demoralizing everyone I got. I had 138 unsired.
There's like Dan's screen goes black and white, and there's like thunder claps whenever he doesn't get sniped.
What was
your most fun experience?
Fun?
Yeah.
You have fun playing this game?
It was fun for us to watch you suffer. Okay.
You must have had one high in this game that stands out above the rest.
I think the recent memory, one of the 7 free-for-all drops I had at next.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
I bet that's such a nice feeling as well, because there's like so many people there.
It was just alien to see that amount of GP on the floor.
Alien!
I just want to...
This is what he does.
He did say 7, by the way, just for those who are listening. 7 free-for-all drops, just before we, Yeah, that's one more than 6, one less than 8. Yeah, it's
Thank you, Grant.
Welcome.
For the majority of them.
It's interesting, Dan, because I'm looking at this question, and your worst experience was maxing. but that's actually my most fun. Like, because my timeline, I guess, I started playing in 2007. I played until 2010, and then I quit because I became an Xbox COD nerd.
As we all were.
As we all were back in day.
And
then OSRS released. I played that for only like 6 months, and then I came back in 2015 and was hooked. I haven't taken a break since. And I remember coming back and just really wanting a diary cape for whatever reason. So I grinded the diary cape, which I really enjoyed. For some reason, I just really liked skilling back then. And then after I got that, I was like, yeah, I'll go for Max. And Maxing was really fun back then. Like, that was kind of the time where I don't want to like sound like egotistical, but it's where I started getting recognized a lot. Like, because I was quite active in Boaty's chat, became a mod and all that. Boaty mod, yeah. Not anymore, sad. And just made like loads of friends like in that era. Like I met like Paddy, Furco, still talk to them now, and just like a lot of the cool.
That was such a was the golden era, I think. Of,
just like between 2016 and 2018 was the peak,
was so
and that's where I had the most fun. My least fun experience is actually right now as we speak, because I have to get a fucking infernal cape, and I don't want to. I know I can do it, Grant. I'm just lazy. Because somewhere between me maxing and me now, there was a shift in my brain where I can no longer sit at my desk for longer than a 2-hour period without feeling the need to go do something else. And obviously, like, your average Inferno completion first time is 2 hours. So it's just fucking strenuous, and I hate it. Like, I know I can do it. Like, when I do attempts at the moment, like the past, like, I don't know, 7 times, it's all been 60 plus. But then I just bottle it to something stupid, and it's just like, what's the fucking point? But I've also been like busy with other stuff.
The Inferno, in my opinion, is like 60% mental.
Yeah, definitely. I think it'd be a different story if, like, you know, I didn't have a job or anything. I could just stay at home and grind it. That's not flame. But it's just like I come home from work and like the last thing I want to do is Inferno because I'm tired. I'd rather just like AFK fish.
That's the reason why I've never bothered.
Yeah.
I don't play this game to put myself in stress and juice.
Yeah, I'm the same. I just play to relax, have fun, you know.
I will get it eventually. I'm gonna
because I know I'll get it eventually.
Range armor comes out, and I will loan you it, Toucann. Don't worry.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, I just don't want to do it.
I do and I don't. Like, because I know once I'm over this hurdle, I can just do whatever the fuck I want.
You'll be back playing again.
Yeah, because I haven't got to think to myself, I've got to do Inferno now. Like, obviously, I'll do it on my main and get on the UIM, but what about you guys, Tom and Grant? What's your best and worst?
My answer is gonna sound really like cheeky, but probably my favorite's probably getting my Infernal cape.
Right, we're just backing off of each other.
But no, it was. I've never felt more of a feeling of just like pure fucking euphoria in playing this game than finishing.
You did grind it, to be fair. You did nothing but.
That's something I admire. Just putting your head down and getting on with it. That's something I can't do.
It was so like stressful, but at the same time finishing it was probably Zuck as well. The one that's recorded was probably the most fun I probably had in the game. So.
I think it's different for you because yours was so public. Because everyone knew you were streaming. You streamed like all the attempts. Everyone's up to date. And then when it got to that, we literally had everyone in Discord watching.
Yeah, there was like 40 of us in Discord.
Yeah. And I remember that day. It was so good.
And I didn't know I didn't know Tom was streaming it.
I streamed it on my Twitch channel, and people were just flooding in as well. I think I was on like 180 viewers that day, and then like I started streaming your cape, and it just went up to like 400.
I don't know if there's any footage
was just brilliant.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any footage of it. If there is, I will find it and I'll find a way to show people. But I find when I'm under a lot of stress in a game, I kind of like people like I was making a lot of noise.
Into a fucking idiot.
I just started doing like Australian impressions and started talking to Zuck. I remember I got to Zuck and I was like, "You're right, Mac, you little fucking scamp. Here we go." And I remember just getting like, I don't know why it helped calm my nerves. And but
I just sit in silence and I'm like mouth breathing like.
Well, I've done that now. With the ones I've done after that, I've been in silence because it's a bit different. But the first time, I remember just sitting there and being like, because I just didn't want to fuck up again. I was so ready to move on. And
being on Zuck is like so surreal. I don't know why. I've been having like dreams about it.
You do though. That's the thing. Like,
I've only gotten to Zuck once, and even then, I was like, "What the fuck am I doing?" And I just walked into death.
But that day, I would say, would probably be my favorite day, just because I remember when I finished it as well, there was like the whole clan was like outside the cave waiting for me to come out.
And we embraced you in your arms, and then we launched you back in and said, "Fuck off."
Well, everyone was like, "Gamble the cape," and I was like, "All right."
Me ruining your max pie.
Shut up.
Learning solo chambers. I've never heard you complain more.
Oh, yeah,
you know
and
what?
getting your 730 gauntlet.
Oh yeah, so just a bit on this. I'm not Grandmaster, I'm still a noob, but I finished the Master Combat Achievements, and one of the things on there that I had to learn was solo chambers, because I'd done everything else, but I'd never done solos before, and in my head I was, it was just the Master tier, like, I'll be able to do it, it'll be fine, and yeah, it was awful. I was there for like a month.
So in depth. And
it's just... Solo Chambers of Xeric, in my opinion, is the hardest piece of content in the entire game.
Yeah.
Like, to perfect. I think the Inferno, like, yes, it's difficult, but you could cheese the Inferno. You can't cheese Solo Wall.
No.
It's so difficult. And even now, I'm not good at it. I got good enough to get the Master times. I'm going to go back for the GM times. But yeah, no, it was tough. But like Inferno, though, it was rewarding to finish. But
it's one of those things that's just like an extreme amount of practice is needed to get good at it.
100%.
Just constant practice.
Like all these guys, like I'm not gonna name names, but all these like incredible players that do solo wall. Like, I mean, I'll name Idex. You watch his streams too, and like that guy's clicks when he does solo wall, bro. Like, it's actually
fucking
nuts.
speed.
He's so good.
Got OPs doing it while he's got fucking rainbow rave on his screen.
It's nuts. So
That's how I watch do solo raids. He's
good.
Yeah,
I'd probably say learning solos was probably the worst, but at the same time most rewarding was when I finished them.
I remember learning, and it's the same. It's like that feeling of Inferno.
For sure. It just clicks one day, and you're like, oh, okay. But
what about you, young Thomas?
I have some like situational stuff that's really made me hate the game.
Oh,
it's not. It's just not like stuff that's in game.
Cells in, folks. It's going to get rocky.
Yeah, like for example, during the ice era, where people would just like try and dox you all the time.
You mean ice as in Ice Poseidon, right?
Yeah, like the CX era.
Like that CX era was actually painful, and I would get like letters through my door and all kinds of shit, and that made me really like almost despise the RuneScape community for a little bit.
That's really sad.
And then like the fishing streams as well, where they would like use my name and use Monica's name at the time to fish people, and then we went to Twitch HQ to try and get them taken down, and then they found out that we were doing that, so they would like threaten us, and it just stuff like that made me really never want to play the game again, and it took like a year for me to get back into it properly.
Sucks.
And then just like losing your account as well is like the worst thing if you ever get recovered or
weren't you
anything like that. It's just the worst.
Correct me if I'm wrong, so it might have been another thing or like another reason why it happened, but weren't you doing Tob with like Elliot on like day 1 or day 2 and you suddenly got recovered?
Yeah,
I remember that. I remember that happening.
My account then would get recovered a lot just because we were trying to fight the fishing streamers, and like I don't know like Jagex you got to give it to them. Jagex have got a little bit better at not giving your account to piss randoms, but back then it was bad. Like if someone could just pretend to be you and send a recovery attempt, and like depending on who's there on that day, maybe they would give it to them. And that's rough, but it's a lot better now, to be fair. But yeah, just that like strides. That's probably like the worst. The best things like about the best times I played, like having played RuneScape, like I'd say like bingos, where we all are just in the same mind frame.
So fun.
We're all in like the same direction, and we're all playing together, and we're all up degen hours, getting drunk, and like stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's just so good.
It's fun.
It's
yeah.
so good, and it makes
nice
me
story.
it makes me so happy to play the game.
Yeah, it's got such a good social aspect, and like
Yeah.
met so many
honestly,
good people
bingos are the most fun I have consistently. I think.
Oh yeah,
Like
for
every
sure.
time one comes around, I genuinely get excited for them. As geeky as that is, I'm like, right, we're buying some drinks, get some snacks, stick that
Yeah.
on the computer. It's just fun.
It's fun,
It's great to
yeah.
be on this.
Yeah, just like
Money.
the all the times I've had such special moments with such special people.
Yeah. Like
playing this game.
Right, shut up. Okay.
Yes. Young
right,
Daniel.
Tom,
Oh wait, you already answered. Sorry.
Right, Tom, you mentioned the word piss random, which brings you on to my next question from Hunda. He asked for each of us, if we could add one thing to the game and nothing stopped us, what would it be? And why is it not the Neve sex doll? Well, that's my idea, John.
To turn my main into a proper Iron Man.
What,
Really?
so just have a max
convert-
main, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna be an Iron Man now.
And I'm gonna be honest, I think you would fucking get so bored. You'd be like, I need to make truce. What the fuck? Like, nah,
He's at a point now where he could just PVM for it if he really wanted to.
yeah, I suppose so.
So yours would be you just kind of change your account when you
No,
want.
that was a joke. God no.
Oh,
I was about to
I
say.
believe him.
For me,
It's
I'd
alright.
probably look at like Slayer's my favourite skill. I think there's scope for some more bosses at this point. We've not had any. We had Hydra. I'm not looking for something like a Dragon Hunter Lance. I just think there could be more bosses there, like a Dark Beast boss. Even just more like Slayer only monsters to kill. They don't have to be. I think we've got past the point where everything has to be a certain amount of GP an hour. I just want a bit more variety.
You're 99.
It's kind of crazy how like end of 2017, everyone was like, no more Slayer updates. That's all you do, and that it's like been that long.
Yeah.
Like Hydra, I guess is one thing, but
It's like the last,
yeah, it's kind of weird.
2019. Hydra
I'm
2019.
not asking for the meta to be changed. I like how you've got the mage style. I just think a bit more variety in monsters and a bit more like option. So like, I can't pronounce her name, but the one that gives you Hydra tasks.
Kona.
He's sick. Kona.
So hard to pronounce, mate.
I was gonna, for some reason in my head, I was thinking of the mountain rather than the.
Dan just goes, Connor.
No.
Connor.
Connor the mountain.
Yeah, so if I had flexibility of adding stuff, I'd probably look at like 70 to 80 required boss, or maybe even a higher level Slayer boss, or even just a mob. I'd be excited if a poll blog come out at the end of the year saying that.
That'd be cool.
Get me excited.
I don't know. I'm stuck on mine. I don't know what to... Because, like, I used to have this question in the back of my mind years ago, and that answer was Soul Wars. But that's,
Wow.
but that's obviously in the game now.
For that.
But that's obviously in the game now, and it's shit. And I'm like, what did I ever think of that? So now I don't really know.
Yeah.
What was it? I think it was Artisan. Was a skill.
Oh,
that was
the skill
proposed
concept? Like skilling Slayer.
years ago.
Mhm.
And it was like essentially Slayer in the sense you go to a person, they tell you what to do. But you go to this person and it's like chop 100 U-logs or something. Just something like that to sort of... Because it basically covers every aspect of the game, but you're tying it all into one thing. And I kind of like that
Out of
idea.
all the proposed skills, I think that was the best one.
Yeah.
Like more than
Right,
warding.
so-
For me, I would have gone with sailing. Warding was. I remember sitting there in. I went to the Rune Fest. It was announced. I was sitting next to my friend Myth, who just recently maxed his iron, and his face
Shout
just
out Myth.
dropped.
Myth.
His jaw dropped when he heard that. I still remember it to this day. It's brilliant. But like nothing there excited me from that reveal. I was a bit disappointed. The other, like you said, Artisan and I personally would have wanted sailing out of the three.
Can I change my answer? Going off skilling, mine would be dungeoneering.
Yeah.
I would add dungeoneering. I would add dungeoneering in a heartbeat.
No, you're going to bring up my take about Gauntlet, aren't you? No, Gauntlet is better than dungeoneering.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No. Why?
It is. You're just all clouded by shitty nostalgia. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not.
I've had enough. This might get dislikes from the comments section, but whatever. I'm fed up. Everyone thinks it's a good idea to put all this old stuff in the game. When has it fucking worked? It doesn't.
God, I think there's a thunderstorm outside my house. It's getting tense.
I'm asking for the rewards. I'm not asking for anything.
Like, no one likes to play the game like that anymore. They think it's a great idea. It's not.
You have done that.
You got.
What's wrong with it?
I kind of like to think to myself that when we were pissing about in dungeoneering, being complete noobs, that there were people like us that actually knew what they were doing and formed like these elitist teams who were actually doing like speed runs, and shit like that.
Think about how sweaty it would be now, though.
Yeah, but that's what would be fun about it. Because
they'd have to do a complete re-edition of it for it to work.
Because I find sweaty Gauntlet actually quite fun. I find it quite fun going.
Do you think the RuneScape community will sit there and be like, okay, so we found a door, we need to find a key. Oh, but the key's going to be in a random room that we don't know yet. No, they're all going to be on Twitter like, excuse me, we need to change the rate of where the keys are. I don't like that it's in a random room. It should be on the edge of each crevice of each bar legner in each room. Because that's what the RuneScape community is like now. They can't, like, look at Next. Oh my god, I have to drink a brew. It ain't going to work.
I love dungeoneering, and I genuinely, I agree with Toucann, but I do have to agree with Tom here in the sense that
no, it wouldn't work in the current time. It would just be cool to
come out, and it would be identical to what it really
didn't mean to flame your suggestion.
You're clouded by nostalgia.
That's gonna be the title of this podcast.
Clouded by nostalgia? Question mark, exclamation mark.
But no, I think I still play this game for nostalgia.
I think it would get adjusted too much, and the issue obviously with dungeoneering is the
purpose of this question is there was no restrictions. God,
there's no wrong answer.
Yeah, Tom.
But yeah, mine would be.
You swore to destroy.
What if they did artisan dungeoneering? So you had to go in a dungeon and chop 100 euros.
No, interesting.
Ooh, I like that.
Jagex, hire this man.
Is it my
answer?
Yeah, come on, Tom. Let's hear your shit take.
Yeah, on you go.
Mine's quite simple, Grant.
So I think engineering.
Mine's more of like a UI thing. I really don't like that. Jagex allows certain third-party client plugins to come in when they could just do it themselves. Like we just banned Open and like a lot of other clients for the top helper.
Like the majority of the Open clients are now in.
Now it's all in RuneLite, but it's with like weird plugins that change the look of the things at SotaSteg to make it look like Inferno. In my opinion, Jagex need to spend 3 months implementing all those plugins and put them into the actual game. Make tile markers in the real game. They
are on mobile.
Like give new attacks. Like just give it make everyone on the same level. So people playing RuneLite with this new TOB plugin thing now see the SOT attacks as a different thing. Just make it into the game and redesign it. Who cares if it I just feel like they need to redesign a lot of stuff.
It's quite evidently flawed and people need to constantly find ways around it.
I think one day we'll see
people can't play the game without a client. That's just a fact. That's just how the game's progressed.
Yeah. It just needs
to
be
one
day
official. We'll see it when the Rune Loader thing's up and about. Part of me is hopeful that we'll all be on the same account. I mean, account on the same client. For me, I only started using RuneLite as an April Fool's joke, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, liar!"
Liar.
But I caved to peer pressure. Got to a point where I needed it.
Yeah, Dan only started using RuneLoader this year.
RuneLoader.
RuneLite, sorry.
I could start using RuneLoader. That was a sick client. I loved RuneLoader. That was unbelievable.
I never used any of them.
Loved RuneLoader. Mine, I don't know. I'm kind of cheating because I also have a question coming up that I've read that's kind of answering this as well. But I'll do 2 separate answers. And so mine is a port. It is a piece of old content, but I don't think it necessarily would be like a big deal. And that's the Majorat quest series.
Oh, I'd love that.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
So that's While Gothic Sleeps, that's Ritual of the Majorat, and thing is too, I would love to see those quests come in, but at the same time, the quests after. So for example, in RuneScape 3, they have things like Fate of the Gods and all these incredible like lore quests.
Yeah,
because I enjoy that kind of stuff. I would love to see old school's take on it. Because for example, we most recently had Sins of the Father, right, which was essentially old school's version of Darkness of Halavale, I believe. Maybe it was a different one. But so it told the same story of what Darkness of Halavale was, but it was an old school version. And I would like to see more quests like that, because I do quite enjoy the stories. I think the RS3 quests are fantastic. So
yeah,
I would like to see more
really well
big Grandmaster quests with really good rewards.
I would love it if Modded, shout out Modded, what guy?
He's not in Scuff Unit, but shout
Shout him out.
Does make good quests. But if I was to get like those quests, he said they were the most fun I had when I played it. I'd want Ritual of the Majorat, but I'd want Lucian to live. I
really?
I thought it was such a cool character.
Lucian was cool.
He just went around murdering NPCs, bro. I want him to live, and I want him to go like.
Spoiler for Lucian.
Oh, come on, it was 2011.
I've never done it, Dan.
But no, Lucian, yeah, he was a cool character. I would have liked to have seen him do more. The one thing I would love to see with the Mazarats, I'd love the introduction of Sliske. I don't know if you guys know who he is. He's a big
talked about him in-game when they released Next, didn't they? Like, if you talk to the banker and go through the dialogue as long as it is, you actually,
name drops him,
yeah.
Sliske's a sick character, and I think him being an old school and that I don't know, I would love to, because obviously when quests come out at the minute, and I'm not flaming Jagex here, but a lot of the quests we have been like, here's this novice quest, the introduction to Slayer, it's the poor sign of interest, like great, but like give me a fucking quest that's like Grandmaster, it takes me 2 hours long, and it's like just packed to the brim with stuff, and the rewards are worth doing. I don't know, I do enjoy. I
love Dragon Slayer. I thought that was
Dragon Slayer 2 was awesome. It was so good, and so was Monkey Madness 2, and like all these like. So I don't know, I would love stuff like that, and specifically if the Majorats and the gods could be part of that story, I would be into that. So that's
would you get them to update the Majorat models though?
Yes, absolutely. Because right now they're just skeletons. And they need to be changed. Because the thing is, the story is still an old school. Like Desert Treasure is essentially the beginning of the Majorat story, right? And you're introduced to Azanadra and all these other Majorats. So it'd be cool to follow up on them, for sure. That's what I would bring in.
Next question!
I've just been scrolling through the questions. I feel like we've answered quite a lot of them. Not all of them, but like we've covered parts of it.
Sure.
This I don't know why this one's made me laugh. I feel like it's more for me just because it's got UIM in it and I'm an idiot. But it's from Short Dude and he says ultimate UIM mode with no house, stash, looting bag, etc. Better than all the other GIM modes in my opinion.
That sounds fucking miserable.
Well, you've got an idea for your next account, Toucann. So
you know what? Me being me and stupid account ideas. That sounds fantastic. I would play that.
Did you make a 2005 account?
Yeah, so I've actually got that on the notepad in front of me as one of my accounts. A 2005 UIM. It's basically that.
It's funny.
I just kind of, because I'm a big nostalgia freak, clouded by nostalgia.
Isn't that a Dula Peep album?
I love trying to water down the game as much as possible and making it as simplified as possible, and that's what that would be. I think Slayer Music actually has one of these accounts. It's basically a UIM, but he's literally like in his inventory, and it's really interesting to watch. Yeah,
is that for the kind of stuff that I would watch rather than play?
Yeah, definitely. I'd definitely do it. I think it'd be cool to see what is possible.
For sure.
Toucann?
Yes.
Do you think Jagex have purposefully streamlined the way the game is to benefit UIM? Because people always say
absolutely.
People always say that for Iron Man, but like I still don't understand bagging properly. Like you can go to Ferox to bag, right? Yeah,
because their argument was so before, for anyone who doesn't know,
who's got bag?
So a looting bag is an item you get in the wilderness. it's basically a second inventory, and UIMs use it a lot to, kind of bypass the space they have. Before, the only way you could use it is obviously in the wilderness, so you would just go in the wildy and use it. But their argument was, well, people use ults to box them so they can't be attacked by PKers, which is a very rare occurrence, because who's going to sit there and hunt down people bagging? So their response was, look, if people do that, we'll just let you bag in Ferox, so you can out-bag, like, free of risk. So you can literally just tele into Ferox Enclave and do all your bits. You don't have to worry about fucking, I don't know, some max dude turning up and slaying you for thousands of hours of progress. Which I thought was hilarious.
Behemoth recently just got absolutely clapped for like his entire bank because he didn't die at the Nettles at Edgefield.
I'll have you know, this is not a Behemoth channel. This is a RuneScape Chronicles channel.
I thought that was hilarious. I think there was a UIM with an Ellie. I think it was UI Panda. Got clapped, lost everything. Twitter was in uproar. It was like, that's so upsetting. I was laughing. I'm horrible, but I find that hilarious. If that happened to me, it'd be a different story.
Oh, you'd be crying.
It is kind of content in it when that happens.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of fun.
Crying in the club.
Yeah.
I mean,
crying in the club, yeah.
I'm
gonna sound really nasty, but it's like you did choose to play UIM.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds really horrible, but it's kind of true.
It's the same. It's the same with hardcore. Like, hardcore is now at the point where, like, they're gonna add a fucking button so you just log out when you're about to die. It's been like so spoon-fed and like streamlined, as you say, Tom, towards the game. But yeah, UIM is, I don't know. I like it. I like it personally for the ranks and the simplicity.
UIM's you. Like, you've played UIM for so long. It's like, don't get me wrong, you're gonna play your main again, I think, but I think UIM's just the way. I mean, you're good at it, man. Your UIM's just like I can.
It's actually like so funny story. When I came back to OSRS in 2015, I didn't actually remember the details to my actual main. So I made a new account because my old one wasn't very good. And I saw the UIM gate mode, and I was like, this is like this is 15-year-old me speaking. I'm like, that sounds interesting. So I did it. I played it for like an hour, and then it suddenly clicked in my head. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna play my main now. And then that account just laid there for 2 years, and I was like, I'm gonna play this.
Yeah, sick.
I say it's simple. I say it's like a simple game mode, but it's not. It's simple in the sense that it's so watered down, and you have to be very selective, and you can't be a hoarder, and I like that.
Yes, yeah, that's why I can.
There's also complicated, yeah.
I'm that guy. Like, I'm not like Dan. Like, I don't pick up steel arrows at Zami, but. Well, my throat's gone. But at the same time, like, if I spend like X amount of hours, I'm a bit upset he didn't bite, by the way. If I spend X amount of hours getting like, I don't know, like a Darok plate body, and I'm really happy to get it, I don't want to then have to choose between that and like another item down the line. Which I know is a big part of the
sacrifice it. Right? Yeah, that was the same. Like, I spent ages getting a Fury. I was really happy to get it. I love that thing. And then I dropped it eventually. That was sad.
Yeah, see, that's just, I don't know. It takes a certain amount of player. I
have an important question. Riot asked, "Piping Nans?" ?
Oh, piping Nans.
Piping Nans. Yeah.
Piping Nans.
I agree.
Thoughts?
I think Piping Nans.
And then I said, "That's not Ali the Camel. That's my wife."
And on that note.
Shut up.
Question?
We'll have one more. Why not?
Sure. Go on then.
So I think this is the first question we got. It's from No Help. Shout out to No Help.
Shout out. Got his champions.
I think we've pretty much covered all of these already. We've pretty much covered everything today in this question, but he alters it slightly. So his whole question is, what's your least favorite content to play in the game? That's favorite/least. What videos do you prefer currently in game? What's your favorite or worst? And he also says, what videos do you prefer watching? And he said about a new skill, but we've pretty much covered that.
Sure.
Okay. My favorite content is next question. I don't know what my favorite. I guess Tob. I just really like top. I've not even done much top, but it's really fun to do.
Top's sick.
It's good fun.
Yeah.
My favorite would also be theater. And video wise, for me, it's always not just recently because it's like the new norm, but it's always been like completionist-esque videos. Like I used to watch. I don't know if anyone's ever watched Automology's old videos. He used to have a old school RuneScape completionist series. I binged that. I love that series. So anything with a main account, I'm not anti Ironman. I just don't enjoy it. I'm rubbish at it. So, and I feel like it's been done a lot. So for me, it's definitely like.
I wish you said that before we started GIM.
Well, GIM was different though. That's why I started GIM, because it was like it's Iron Man, but it's different. And then I watched shit at it. I didn't know how to make compost, and you shouted at me.
I didn't shout at you.
Yes,
much.
roll the clips.
I didn't shout at you much. You're only in the team.
I think we haven't really spoken. I guess we've already it's kind of obvious what we like and what we don't like. Yeah, there you go. Sippies. But the main point of this question, I think, is the videos we like watching. That's what you said, Grant. For me, it's breaking the game. So, like, Rendy, Mauler, OSRS. You know, people hate the guys. They hate their guts for what they do. They make Jagex look bad. They think they're cringe. I think it's hilarious.
Hot take, but I think they're needed.
Yeah, they're basically the QAers, because like they publicize or have publicized like
the one thing I find
pretty harmful bugs.
No one shouted at Wooks when he broke the duel arena on the
exactly.
Like I remember when he started smuggling items for the grave system, right? No one cared about that, but as soon as like obviously the stuff they do is a bit more malicious than that.
Rendy steals an Infernal Cape out of LMS, and everyone's like,
yeah, like I don't know. But yeah, I agree.
But that's it goes with any game as well. Just like kind of glitching or stuff that's pretty. What's the word I'm looking for? Not immoral. But
I don't know what Jagex expected with a game engine that old. I feel like if they had worked with them, I know like you can't beat around the bush. I know that some of those bug tester guys are like pretty toxic.
Yeah. They I mean,
but like, at the end of the day, there are some really good people in there, and they are willing to help a lot of the time as well.
For sure.
Yeah, exactly.
But why should they now after everything that's been done?
I mean, Rendy did literally tweet like a fucking Declaration of Independence of these are some bugs I've found.
Yeah.
And then Jagex just turned a blind eye.
Yeah.
Or they basiced to everyone they turned a blind eye. But I reckon secretly
they
were
behind
like
the scenes they're like, oh my god, what are we gonna do?
Yeah. But no, my
mod's just blowing up that evening.
The kind of content I like watching now with RuneScape is stuff that isn't taken seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that. That's mine.
And it's why I like your videos, Tom, because I'm simp. Because obviously you're serious about it, but you've kind of got a twist of it, right? It's a bit more jokey and lighthearted at times.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer that to a fucking 2-minute panorama of Varrock explaining why a mithril axe is important. Like
I did a minute. I did a panorama video explaining the Champion's Cape. The Champion's Cape could be obtained by obtaining all 10 Champion Scrolls.
Yeah, informative stuff is like people do it because it does get the most views. Like if you're informative to newer players, like you're gonna have such a larger captive audience, but like it gets boring when you know all that shit already.
Yeah,
that's why the times I do enjoy when it goes in depth is when it's for something
that you don't
fucking
know,
niche, like breaking into Mauritania.
Mm-hmm.
It's why I love Bowie's videos so much, is because they're just so raw and
they're
just
like
so
shit posts. Like high octane gameplay shit posts.
Yeah, they're just like the content within the video is like, as Tom said, like it's high tier stuff, but it's just so.
It's just simple. Clip onto the next.
I think he's such a funny guy as well. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
They're my favorite right now, to be honest.
Same. I don't really watch a lot of RuneScape YouTube at the moment. I only really watch like my friends and
Road to Piss.
Quite a lot just because of my health and being off work at the minute.
Yeah.
So I binge watched a lot of series. I think the best out there at the moment in terms of a series, I'd say Guides for Us All.
Yeah,
shout out to Guides for Us All.
His videos are sick.
I sort of caught wind of it when he was around episode 40, I think.
Mm.
And I've not missed an episode. I think they're fucking fantastic.
His videos is what I've based like the last 6 months of my account progression on, because I've started doing collection log stuff, and I've just gone back to the start of his videos. Like, okay, what did he do when he was at this many slots? So
I rewatched every single episode
man.
from scratch recently. I just think it's interesting. Like his main progression. I do like watching Iron Man. I like watching Mudkip. I think Mudkip's a cool dude.
Hey, how's it going?
Although he likes to flip-flop from irons, I like watching the progression of each one. I think that's nice. It's just easy listening, and it's not 100 miles per hour, which sometimes I just don't tune into because I like to relax when I'm like playing and watching.
I think I've started. I've kind of changed. I always had videos that you could kind of just play RuneScape with in the background, but now I watch ones where you kind of not need, but I want to give it the full attention.
But saying that, like I say that I like relaxing, easy watching and listening YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
Recently discovered OPs on Twitch.
Yeah.
I'm done a complete 180.
I love him when he's sat at home and he goes, "Woo!"
This is OPIEZ, by the OPIEZ, by the way, for those listening.
Shout out to OPs.
Yeah, shout out him.
He's also he's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Gamer and all.
Very lovely.
Tom,
and I love his
voice.
Yeah,
Tom put his thing on Snapchat.
Yeah, I'm the same as you guys. Like, I actually watch very little RuneScape content now. There's like 3 series, I guess, that I will instantly click on whenever there's a video, and then everyone else I kind of just binge watch like every 6 months or so, and I'll just catch up with all their stuff, especially when it's PvP. Yeah. Like PvP, I'll just binge watch like a load of like meme PvP stuff because it's so digestible. But in terms of like continuous series, it's at the moment it's BOT, Guides for Us All.
That's pretty much it. That's like controversial. Well, is it controversial? I'll say it anyway.
Might be, try it.
The amount of views that RuneScape PKs get, how the fuck are they not like? I know there's the polling system. Polling system's bad. Don't shoot
Most
me.
people, look, dude. I was having I won't name the person, but I was having a conversation with someone who's like really into the analytics of the YouTube RuneScape audience.
Yeah.
And they reckon that in most cases, over 50% of the people watching don't even play the game.
Man.
Wow.
Which is insane.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
If you were in that business and you were like at Jagex and one of the heads, like
you got to try and get them playing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Why
right?
do they? Why for all this time have they not capitalized on it?
I know.
Like, I can't PK. I don't think I've ever killed.
Trust me, they're working on it though. They've.
I'm just trying to think.
They're
if I'm
setting aside a lot of time for the rest of the year to try and get people back.
But
I love the wilderness and I love like watching people like doing PK stuff. Not for me playing, but I find it really interesting. Obviously, like you said, Tom, the analytics are there. Like you just got to look at like a frame video or.
It's because it's difficult to pull off. Like organizing a PK trip, even if it's solo, like people give up at the point where they're like, okay, so what do I need?
Yeah.
Like, why is this anglerfish darker than the others? I've just seen that YouTuber E10 and his health's gone up. What's it even called? Like, all of that stuff is just so hard to like make and get done yourself for the average like viewer who doesn't really play much.
It's interesting we touch on this because someone did actually ask this question. And they asked like, how do you think Jagex could change the game to get new people playing and help them understand it and learn it? He's basically saying when he started 3 years ago, he was like completely lost without friends and resources.
And when you think on their bloody YouTube channel that shows new players what to do, and promote it. Like the fact, like I can't get my head around the fact that there's nothing in that they're.
But Dan, there's Adventurer John in Lumbridge.
Who gives a fuck about that? Most people don't know they're there.
Yeah,
You get off Tutorial Island and you run past the cunt.
He only appears for like a certain time. So like when your account is only like it's early hours of age, he'll be there, and then he's not there.
This is gonna sound really bad, but I think they need to hold your hand more, but in a way that kind of disappears. I don't know if anyone here has played the RS3 tutorial. I'm assuming you've not.
I have.
I have, right? So you have. You like it's very much like World of Warcraft in the sense that for like half an hour at the beginning, you're just told what to do. Everything is right. We're gonna
Tutorial Island is so shit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Tutorial Island, it's so nostalgic and it's great for that.
This is a tree.
It gives you nothing. Like
yeah,
you learn how to make a bronze dagger. Like you're never using a bronze dagger.
You learn how to make bread. When have we ever made fucking bread?
Yeah, you don't exactly. So I generally think a sort of more in-depth tutorial would change a lot, and it would be something I think you could opt into.
It's so hard to call because like that the charm of the game is that you get plopped into this world and like you are
charm
like
enough though for new players.
No, it's not, especially in the
That's
TikTok
the
era
problem.
where people's attention span is like a foot. Like
exactly.
You don't like people just. The thing is, like, I think they have to do a lot of stuff that will ruin a lot of the experience for existing players to get new players in. Which really
do you guys remember when mobile came out? It was just like that flood of clueless people.
Yeah, giving it.
We found it hilarious.
Don't know what to do.
Mobile for me was one of the best updates I ever did because I was working a job at nights, and once I'd done my work, I was done.
Yeah,
I've probably done like 7 hours of Zora, max.
You love a mobile.
Well, I don't anymore.
Mobile gaming, yeah.
But it helped me out a lot in terms of my account progression back then. I thought it was one of the best updates I ever did. I don't know how much they spent on getting it up and running, and I bet
it took fucking
they're
years.
a bit pissed at the moment. Like, looking back at it.
No, the amount of players that got hooked and then bought bonds, they probably made the money back.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I mean,
cheers for that.
Yeah.
It's a tough call.
It's two ways as well. Like that, Jagex need to also accept that not everyone's gonna like the game.
Yeah, exactly.
As well, like
they're also like very offended when someone like fucking Big John 42 goes on Reddit and is like, "This is why I don't like the game," and they're like, "Let's have Adventurer John." Fuck Adventurer John.
Why was he a ghost?
Do you think that they need to cater more to newer players or just have the information there? So what I mean by that
Do you know what?
Like early game content needs to be pumped into the game.
I don't think it's a content situation anymore. It's more of a UI thing, and then getting someone engaged in the ball rolling that's more important. And then just
I don't think it's any of
late
that.
game stuff.
I think the bit that's worrying is the bit in the middle between the start and the end. Like, say you've gotten past like whatever you would consider to be like a beginner of this game. What the fuck do you do in the middle of it? I feel like that's where there's a massive. Right.
It's like a zombie field out there. Like the 1,200 total people that just have the worst takes. Like, more so than early
because
players.
When you get to that point,
is like the zombie grounds of RuneScape. Because people do give up there,
and that's why. Do you remember there was that analytics stream and it was like, "This is the average player," and it was exactly that. It was the 1,200 total dude with 20 runecraft. Because he's gotten to that point where he's like, "What do I do? I don't have the time."
Aren't Jagex currently trying? I could be wrong, but aren't Jagex currently trying to get players into the mid game quicker? I could be wrong, but I think there's something.
You just spawn in with fucking
12, with 20 runecraft and a shit take.
No, from what I understand, there's like people are trying to get.
Oh, and you can vote, by the way.
Yeah, and I feel like people are trying to get players into that kind of like 1,700 total area where they can start venturing out into other things. Because when you're in that 1,200 total space, it's like.
And obviously all the content creators are at the end of the game and new players are trying to figure out how they got there, and that content just isn't out and around.
Well,
like,
that
it's all
content's on there. It's just
it's
from
all on
2013.
Wiki. Yeah, it's all on the Wiki and everything. Yeah. Let's go watch Mr. Mammals.
If you want to figure out how he got there, go watch progress video number 1 from February 2014.
I actually like a few months ago actually went and watched like the first 10 episodes of that, and it was just so cute to see him like make 200 GP to buy a steel longsword. Like no one does that anymore.
I would say like I think something that would really help would be like a refer a friend program, because the people that get their friends to play and help them play, they're the ones who stay in the game. Like,
RS3 have a refer a friend program and it works.
Could you
really?
imagine? You're just like at work and your phone buzzes, and then it goes,
Gary
"Your
from
RuneScape buddy
accounts
is in need of help."
yeah.
But yeah, no, they introduced that. I think
Phone a
I
friend.
don't know when, but yeah. The only issue with the refer a friend system on RS3 is like they obviously encourage those to refer a friend because you would get a reward back. I think it was like a key reward or something, and people would just like make accounts,
Boost it or
refer
whatever.
themselves.
You can
Yeah.
see,
Like,
if they did that with membership, you'd just have a problem with bots.
They need to make it not in the favor of the player referring, but something good
Yeah.
enough for it all to
For the
like
new player.
click in and make sense. Like using Mina as an example, my girlfriend, she quit at 200 total of all total levels.
Oh, funny that.
Like
What's her take?
4 years ago,
20
and
runecraft.
like she doesn't really know how to play at all. But she's come back and she likes
her.
the fish boss, which is Tempora.
Yeah, you were doing Tempros last night, right?
But like
She have Rocky.
she wouldn't have known how to even get there. This is the thing.
Yeah, but
like,
Yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
way for people to even know that content's enjoyable.
It's like
if they're returning
they've catered to these early game accounts and new players, and then just moved on. Like, right, that's done, that's dusted. There's a bit of your content.
They've just got a
and
big
just like-
checklist. And they
But
just
like
tick it off
people
onto
give
the
up
next.
trying to get there, let alone
Yeah.
like she's
Yeah.
just been doing rooftops because there was a yellow box in Varrock that told her to go and do
Oh.
rooftops kind of thing.
Aw.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just feel like a bit of hand holding,
I
you're
get
right,
you.
is the way. Like, oh
Yeah.
hey, you know.
I also really think it could be something
That's an idea. Sorry, Grant.
yeah, so-
Just a quick one whilst it's on my head. What was that RuneScape 3 thing that gave you rewards when you did like a certain piece of content, like the skilling bit?
dailies.
Dailies.
Yeah.
Something along those lines, where like, and not dailies that
Up
the meme
100
it
view
becomes.
logs.
Yeah, like, and it tells you where to go and how to do it, or something like that, and build your account.
I mean,
like,
Artisan
could-
could have
Yeah.
been that. Like, hey, go kill 10
Yeah.
Temporos today. We'll
Right,
let you
Artisan,
teleport there.
ladies and
Here it is in the
gentlemen.
minigame tab kind of thing.
I also think the game would benefit a lot from I don't know how to say the word. Is it bestiary, where you can like look at what content actually exists. Like RuneScape
yeah.
3 has it. You can click on it and you can literally see every boss in the
Yeah.
game.
Similar to
and
the
what it
collection
is-
of the monsters, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I-
exactly. So you can look at all those things and be like, oh, that boss looks sick. And then go and, okay, I want to go kill him. And then go figure out how to do it.
Could I
think
end-
there is something.
Could I end this this topic on a hot take?
Sure.
Go on.
What's the point in us trying to suggest for Jagex to bring in new players when once a server reaches over 350 players,
Yeah.
it doesn't even work?
Just
Like, we
breaks.
don't need any more players because the game's unplayable with more players.
318 gang, baby.
So yeah.
Can we
One
get an F to
day,
chat for
one day
Paul
we'll
Blue
get it
Pipe?
sorted.
You went and did a clue on 318 because it's the only
Oh, mate, don't.
You Melvin.
Melvin, you can't call him that.
Melvin.
It's Melvin, mate.
It's Melvin. But no, I do agree. It's a shame. It's like leaps and bounds they had to do. That's what's kind of annoying. Is like
Like
it's
they've
not something
done,
they
they've. It's a hard thing
Not
to
quite.
do. No one's going to do it perfectly. And I think, didn't you say like the TikTok era, Tom, where people have the
Attention span
fucking
of 5
attention span?
seconds.
Yeah, like that's just how the world is, and
Mhm.
how do you change that and incorporate that?
But part of me kind of also wants to think
There's no
maybe
right or
RuneScape
wrong.
isn't meant for them. And I don't want to say I don't want
Yeah.
new players to join the game, but it's like maybe it isn't for. I don't know.
No,
It's-
go away. This is our game. Boo hiss.
Go away.
Grow up.
I don't know.
Right. I think that should conclude our pilot episode. It's not officially episode 1. It's still a pilot. But yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, it's
Enjoyed
And
myself.
Cheers, guys.
it's been good to come together and chat shit.
together.
If you
Copyright
made
it,
it,
Grant. Fuck.
if you made it, if you made it this far, then thank you. It means a
Godspeed.
lot.
Check everyone
Thanks for
out.
listening to our
please.
takes on the game.
Yeah, please let us know how we can improve. Because judging by that intro, we were like fucking
Stiff.
Oh, we were. You know when you're like 12 and you have to do a group presentation with your mates in like English, and you're just
Yeah.
up with your little piece of paper like,
Show and tell.
hello.
Why is he
So-
Mr. Bean?
But no,
I think kind of one of the feedback things is going to be already. Why can I hear clicking in the background of 2 tick wood cutting throughout the whole podcast?
Wait, you've been wood cutting the whole
I
time?
just realised I was
fuck off.
Do you have it recorded, Toucann?
We got. If you're seeing this, you've hacked into the system. This video has been deleted.
God's sake.
No,
I appreciate everyone watching.
Thanks, everyone. Please leave more questions and topics. Oh, fucking hell, you're keen. Leave more topics, suggestions. You can either contact us. I don't know why I said contact us.
Apple support, like what?
Fine, I don't.
You can email us at Scuff Unit.
Just DM Dan.
Yeah, just DM Dan on Twitter and roast him for his
I'll put everyone's Twitters below. You can at us or anything. It
won't be nice.
Spam the shit out of at Gunschilli because he loves that. And ask any questions you want to cover. And we might, if we get far enough into this, start bringing others on. Because
one day.
One day. I mean, it is a ScuffCast, and I feel like we didn't really touch on it, but there's more people than just us 4.
Yeah. Except we are the best.
But no, everybody take care out there.
Yep.
If you play RuneScape and your friend comes up to you and say, "Hey, I need a new game to play," don't tell them to play RuneScape. Tell them to shut up and go away. We don't want you. You're shit.
Go play Genshin Impact.
Go play fucking Subway
fuck off, a lot of you. Thanks for listening. I'll jog on.
Take care, everyone, and